Hello. Thank you for taking the time out for doing this documentary for me.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you for taking the time to doing this because I know you're tired.
Yeah, and I just got off of work and you cut into my study time, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity and we're gonna take this as a blessing. It might bless somebody down the road.
All right. First, tell the camera who you are, where you're from, what's your background.
Minister Samuel Kirkland Epps the third, but they call me Samuel Pop Epps because Pop is my name that I was raised up with because they said when I was a little boy, I looked like when I was born, I looked like my grandfather, old man with the fat cheeks. So the Pop stuck with me, and I've been Pop everywhere, everywhere since. So whenever I have my name on a marquee, I put Samuel Pop Epps. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, Kings County Hospital. My father's name is Samuel K. Epps Jr. and my mother Marie Elizabeth Epps. They had me when my mother was 17 years old. I was raised. I stayed in Fort Greene Projects first, and then we moved from Fort Greene Projects. Then we moved over there to Wilson Avenue after my mom's and my pops broke up, and I stayed. We stayed in a three-story building. We had the top floor. My grandmother had the middle and the bottom. I had four uncles. She and a daughter, and that's how we was raised up there. So when I grew up, all the men that were around me were drug dealers, drug addicts, womanizers, and so I thought that by the men that were surrounded by me, I thought with them getting high, I couldn't wait till I was old enough to smoke weed because that represented manhood to me. I couldn't wait till I could be able to drink. That represented manhood. I couldn't wait to have sex so that I could show them that I was a man. So I started having sex probably around 11 years old. You know, with girls on the block. They think we be playing. I used to have them hemmed up somewhere because that's what I taught. That's what I represented. That's what represented manhood to me. And drugs was part of being a man. And little did I know I would dive deep into that drug thing. Scared, that because I'm afraid of failing. But I started studying. I started reading. And I just listened and I humbled myself to him. And God is a forgiving God. The Bible says He's a forgiving God. He's slow to anger, and He forgave me for everything that I've ever done. When I got saved and baptized, He threw it in the sea of forgiveness, and He uses the people that you least expect. Now, when I came decide to come to ministry, people that grew up with me, people would tell me, Pop preaching now. Who? Pop. Who? Samuel Epps. Samuel doing what? I mean, then because I'll say that to myself when I look at my certificate, my license. I say, who? Pop. I still like God. I'll be like, God, you must have been really shooting bad to have to use me. But I realized that all the drug addiction, all the stuff I suffered and I caused my family to suffer was because he had to allow me, he didn't take me there, but he allowed me to go all the way to the bottom. I lived in homeless shelters. I stayed in the junkyards, in the parks, sometime in the hallways of buildings after me and my wife broke up. I mean, I was homeless for a while. I remember one of the worst moments was when I was hungry and I didn't have no money and no access to one because I moved out of town and I had to go in the grocery store and steal my food. I had to steal sardines. I got things like sardines. What's them little things? Vienna sausages. But I've always, even through my bad times, I find something funny out of it. But I'm gonna tell you one time, I was homeless and I had the hemorrhoids. And I mean, I was walking like John Wayne when he was 70 years old or whatever. Or old man. I mean, I was walking. I couldn't sit, so I had to go in the grocery store and steal me some Preparation H. And I said to myself, I said, Lord, could you hear the comedians saying? Could you hear the comedians saying? That's the dog. Could you hear the comedians saying, "This man must have been hurting real bad"? There was a man in Columbia, South Carolina, who was arrested for stealing. But let me tell you what he was stealing. I bet none of you can guess. This man was stealing Preparation H. His ass must have really been on fire. You know, I just think about how they would joke, but I got it, used it, and I was good. But I mean, God brought me all the way to the bottom and made me feel worthless, that I was so low, I couldn't go no lower. So he humbled me all the way down. And so when I come out, when he brought me out of that dark place, when he took that addiction from me, when he healed me, I knew that no man had nothing to do with it, no rehab had anything to do with it. It was all God. But in rehab, I learned the tools, but it wasn't a tool. I used God as my foundation, that I was able to get off it. And now